He can't hear you.
Oh.
Hello there.
Can I
Now,
start
would you
shouting
like to say hello,
obscenity?
Soma?
Hello, Lost Husband, and anyone else watching the stream. I don't think anyone is other. Oh, hello, Elizabeth as well.
What's that
Hello
supposed to
there.
mean, Soma? You don't think people can... No,
I can see the number of current
I know,
viewers.
that's not very high viewership, but that's fine, because we get to hang out together.
Yes.
We don't need a lot of people.
So I'm shouting obscenities now, right?
Well, if you do, the wonderful thing is I can mute Discord and wipe out the last 3 seconds, so the stream will never hear it. YouTube will never hear it.
Hmm.
Just have to catch
Son of-
himself.
There's a delay
but
going to
He
YouTube.
doesn't have that 3 seconds.
So, okay, the episodes today, they're in a different listed order depending on where you're watching. The episode names are Silent Enemy, Dear Doctor, and Sleeping Dogs. Silent Enemy, Dear Doctor, Sleeping Dogs in that order. Not Shadows of Pajem. It'll
On
be
Netflix,
different.
it's episode 11.
Yep. Silent Enemy, I think, is the same everywhere, but then Shadows of Pajem is in there in the middle sometimes.
Yeah, Amazon has the wrong order for actual airing.
No? Okay, Mr. Socks, if you could please put on some headphones if you're going to listen to copyrighted music.
It is my headphones, but they're stupid and sometimes they start feeding back for no reason whatsoever. No,
I had a
I'm just
friend
going
that
to
had
prevent
headphones.
trouble. I'm going to prevent trouble. I'm going to warm myself some rice stew called pilaf or plov and go keep watching Deep Space Nine. You guys enjoy
Oh.
Enterprise.
No, come back. No.
You're
staying
stuck
here.
Now. We've
The
kidnapped
feedback,
you.
the feedback
If
is
you-
too much to get
Then
rid
put
of.
yourself on push to talk.
That's even more
Oh, there's
trouble
an
because
idea.
I wanna eat some rice stew while watching.
But then, if you're on push to talk, just don't push the button while you're eating.
But what if I want to?
Then go and push delete.
Then use
Look,
NVIDIA
I-
Broadcast and it'll filter out all the noise. What's the problem?
Look, I'm in the middle of season 6, which is much better than season 5, so I'm gonna go watch Deep Space Nine.
You're going to finish DS9 in less than a week at this rate.
Yeah, I'm
I've watched,
absolutely.
I've watched
binging
the
it.
whole season in less than a week at times. I've watched through Deep Space Nine so many times.
YouTube seems to be very optimistic about their service. Stoopy, dot.
Yes.
I'll admit, I
Aren't
skipped
we
a few
starting very
episodes.
soon?
We're starting in 2 minutes.
I skipped a few
It's
episodes.
5 minutes
I'll
from the
admit.
start of the stream.
Oh yeah, because the stream didn't start when it was supposed to.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
YouTube had an
which,
issue going live.
so I'm streaming the countdown on Discord, so you have a more accurate countdown for you guys.
No, I just like to hear you count it down. Maybe
And
you
so
can get a
see
starter
the
pistol.
timestamp.
Have
Fun
you seen
fact: the last episode of Deep Space Nine I watched was one of my favorites so far. It was the Morn episode.
Yes.
Who
The,
mourns for
the
Morn?
heist, kind
Yeah.
of.
Amazing episode. I love it.
And
The-
Robo, I live in America. Of course I could get a pistol if I wanted to.
Starter
should.
pistol. There's a difference.
Which you should.
Yeah, like a high
should.
point. That's a starter pistol.
Yeah, that is a starter pistol. You know, high points have their place. They're not horrible. I mean, they're horrible,
Budget.
but they're not that. They're budget, right?
Budget.
So if you just need something, it's better than a sharp stick. But if you have the means, something is stuck on my window here. What is this?
A cheap
Is it a bird?
BHP is a better option.
Are
Look,
you
I'm not
kidding
buying a
me?
pistol. And I'm sure if I bought a pistol, I certainly wouldn't fire it on stream. That seems like a bad strategy. That actually sounds like a felony, is what it sounds like.
What do you mean? Fire
Plenty
down
of
steam is a
YouTube channels
felony?
focused
No.
on
Not
shooting
if you were
guns.
streaming
It's not
from
about the
shooting
stream.
range.
It's about firing it in a house and
Well, you don't have to
potentially
be
hitting
streaming from
neighbors.
your house. Go stream
Yeah,
at a
you could
shooting
stream
range.
from range.
That would be
Star Trek
reckless
Deep
discharge of a
Dive range.
firearm. You can't do that.
You could
You
be
can set up
streaming
a
from a
little-
place where it's okay to do that.
Yeah. Set up Star Trek themed targets. All your Vortas and birds of prey.
Oh,
hanging
15
off
seconds.
the wall.
Triangle.
You could shoot
Triangle
the,
ship after
you could
triangle
shoot the
ship.
10
PC
seconds.
that was busy streaming.
Okay, guys, you enjoy Enterprise.
Press
I'm
play
signing
in
off.
5, 4, 3,
See
2,
you.
1, 0, play. Oh, it's a little loud for me.
They're dropping a thing.
Subspace speak amplifier.
Amplifier. Is that... Oh, it's Echo too. It says so on the side. Nice. Okay,
That's what they're doing.
Very good.
They're laying
Very
the
good.
5G network for Starfleet subspace.
Yes.
Oh.
A subspace
Turns-
something. Airspace. French fries and Coke.
It turns the space frogs gay, right? Or something like that.
It can't be 5G. 5G has high bandwidth but low range. They need low bandwidth and high range. It's probably even more G's.
It's a green thing.
Ooh, it's very scary.
So these are Romulans, right?
No.
No.
No, they're weird like
wrong end.
mushroom head people. We're gonna see them in like 20, 30 minutes. I don't know.
I thought they were Romulans.
Nope.
Different episode.
Okay.
There
No,
are
but, like,
Romulans later.
Their ship cloaks. So
No,
I figured.
You're thinking of a different episode.
Okay, sorry.
That is
But-
that is a very good episode, and that ship does approach in exactly the same angle because that's what they have set up on the animation. But
Okay. Thanks. Just green also is very evocative of Romulans too.
Yeah.
If
It's
you don't
kind of a
talk
bluff.
when you're green.
Like they expect you to think it's the Romulans until they actually show the aliens in this episode.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you
they're
never see
spooky
them
mushrooms.
again ever.
they
Archer
show up
says
in
that they
Beta
dropped in
Canon
on
in a
them.
book or Star Trek Online. I don't know. They're named in Star Trek Online. What are
We
they named in
never
Star Trek Online?
see
Are they called
them
mushrooms?
I think like Captain Baudet, isn't he one of the transparent? Anyway, let me not.
He's a
do
he's a
plot spoil.
galamite.
Yeah, so they're Galamites.
That seems unlikely.
They're
but
definitely not Galamites. They're
they're
really
mushrooms, man.
Okay.
They look like the
so
kind of
Archer-
mushrooms you would put on a pizza.
I've got 2 tickets to paradise.
Archer says that these people dropped in on them, but they could have just entered their territory, and they were responding to them entering their territory.
Oh, they could
Right.
just say it's our territory.
They
You should leave.
Yeah, they still dropped in on them there.
Yeah, but like, Enterprise also just got there.
They're called
got-
Elachi and they
They
work for the
just
Iconians, but the
dropped in on
Iconians
each
are
other.
dead. What do you mean they work for the Iconians? What do you
2
mean?
tickets to paradise.
Why do you
Do
keep
you,
saying that?
in Star Trek Online, do you go back in time 20,000 years? What?
I think
So-
the Iconians show up again in Star Trek Online. Their
But they're
lore is
dead.
nonsense.
Yeah.
There's a William Shatner commercial where he just reads the lyrics to the song. I've got 2 tickets to paradise.
Yes.
When he used to work for Priceline.com.
Yes, William Shatner does spoken word versions of songs.
Can't,
It is
can't
known.
anybody stay dead anymore? Like the Iconians?
Tasha Yar.
Or William
wait.
Tasha
Shatner.
Yar doesn't. Well, yeah. Tasha wouldn't stay dead. The Iconians don't stay dead. Shax doesn't stay dead. Michael
Yeah.
Burnham didn't stay dead. She died very briefly. Or was she just near death? I don't know.
Have we ever had a main character die and never reappear on screen?
Yes, Dax. Jadzia Dax.
I like
If that
T'Pol
counts.
here because she
I
always
think
makes
it
a point
does.
out to humans that like not every species is gonna think like you do. Stop
Yeah.
assuming that your motives and their motives are gonna be analogous.
Yeah, T'Pol is always right. T'Pol says these people are different, and she tracked them down. The aliens. Why did Malcolm's parents live in Malaysia? They're like the most British people
Okay.
you'll ever meet.
Singapore used to be a British colony. That's why it was so wealthy.
Look how British they are. Why are they in Malaysia?
And here they mentioned the Royal Navy, so that implies that in 2151 the British military still exists in a United Earth scenario.
Directed. I didn't see who was directed by because of the subtitles. Who was it?
United Earth might be like UN, where there are still like individual sovereign states, but
Yeah, like even in the Federation, the Vulcans have their own defense fleet.
But they say that like, oh well, we've been Royal Navy for generations,
Yeah.
and then that
Does
means that
Malcolm's
like
dad ever blink?
This is them not liking that he's drawn to Starfleet.
Yeah, but instead of an Earth Navy, there's a Royal Navy. That's what I'm kind of surprised. That means there's still a Queen or King of England.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably more like United Nations where there are still sovereign states,
Yeah.
but they all work
Okay.
together.
It's called United Earth at points, so they are just united countries.
All right,
In
well,
fashion.
maybe they're
Okay.
still gung ho about Brexit.
Hang on. Reed's dad is actually kind of freaking me out here. He has not blinked once in this call yet.
You know, the mom freaks me out.
Season
It's
1
like
Archer.
you've been feeding this thing since it was an infant, and you have no idea what its favorite food is. There's something suspect.
Okay, first off, he's a he, not an it. That's Malcolm Reed you're talking about.
You've been feeding this thing since birth. Like it's Reed. Yeah,
Babies
I
are
mean,
people
look.
too, ear review.
Your job is to feed this round the clock, and it never had a preference about what it likes. Sorry, just say it.
The early bridge is so much nicer than the late series bridge. But anyway, we have first season Archer here still, and we get a glimmer of the late Archer where he's cynical and like everybody wants to fight. Here he still thinks that they're just on an adventure with his friends. It's
Nope, everyone wants
it's like
to
a
kill
camping
you.
trip in a Winnebago.
He didn't even bring their marshmallows.
And here too, like Hoshi's saying, "I'm working," and he's like, "Yeah, I want you to put that work aside and
You'll
do this
work what I
personal
tell you to
project
work on.
for
I'm
me."
the captain.
It's like, get somebody else to do it. I need you to
Porthos!
Do
Oh,
some-
he's such a good boy.
investigation.
Looks like Archer was taking Porthos for a walk. I like that Archer just hangs out with people casually in his off time. Picard never does that.
It says you thought you were going to upgrade this. It's like very little difference.
Out getting around to it. No. But yeah. Change out the internal parts. It still looks the same on the outside.
Shenandoah Valley is in West Virginia.
I know that from the song from Fallout 76.
Country roads.
Yes.
It's not from Fallout 76. Come on.
Sure it is.
The
If
song
you
long
play-
before then.
If you play Country Roads, I would be very interested to see of sort of the people in this audience. Also, I realized I never played the screen.
Uh-oh.
So that's fixed now.
Ryan.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
I still get comments from like one guy who, like every couple months, he'll leave a comment on a stream saying the screen is blurred. Yeah, I know. On the VOD, not like in the live chat. It just leaves a comment after. Why? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I want to pull
Porthos.
Porthos
the
is a good
channel
dog.
Porthos and ask if they associate Country Roads with Fallout 76.
No.
And who would associate it with Kingsman? Oh,
good boy.
This makes no sense.
Now, see, my parents would tell you what my favorite
Yeah.
food is, but they would be incorrect because they just decided what they thought my favorite food is when I was like 12, and then no matter what I said, they refused to update that. It's like, no, your favorite food is this. What are you talking about?
I mean, my favorite food is sticky toffee pudding. That hasn't changed in a long time.
But they should be able to say he likes bacon, he doesn't like bacon, crispy,
Yeah.
something.
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't
like
even have to
one
be
week
the
when I was
favorite food.
12,
It doesn't
I
have
had
to
a bunch
be
of
the
rice. And no matter what I say or what I eat, they're like, oh, why don't you have some rice? That's your favorite. No, like one time.
That
Like,
is off
your
duty right
favorite
now.
drink.
500 kilometers. That's a decent
I don't think
distance.
my parents could say what my favorite food is because I can't say what my favorite food is.
Your favorite food is Taco Bell.
Absolutely not.
Why not? Taco Bell's pretty good.
I don't like it anymore. I used to.
Tragic. Tragic.
Do you have that burger, Smash Burger? What's the famous burger in California?
In-N-Out,
Fat
yes.
Burger? In-N-Out, yeah. You like that?
No.
Okay.
I don't like their sauce
Oh, okay.
that they put on their burgers. Tastes weird.
Oh, I like this part. See, we want to talk to you. Have some ear damage.
They're talking, presumably. Ooh, they have wave guns.
The whole Pleiadian was polarized. And now it's
Not
not.
anymore, it's not. Why did they go to warp? Just kill them. Just kill the smelly humans.
They
Get them outta
very
here.
narrowly missed the bridge as well. They should have just, like, popped that one. Ooh.
Good job, Reed, staying on top of that. Anything in our database. Could still be Romulans. Actually, wait, would Romulan DNA match Vulcan in the database? Would that work?
That's what meant to
I
Paul
think
would be
they
able
would
to
say it's
identify it.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even
There's
like
the,
genetically, they were not able to
mutation
detect
flat.
it. It's only been like 5,000 years.
Okay, Archer, do you want to put a uniform on? I guess he's busy.
He's still
He's
in
off duty.
quantum leap mode.
But it didn't. It didn't blow.
Why don't you answer the question to Paul?
Well, because the answer to his
Andorians-
question is they found hostile species and they just started firing.
Right, Andorians, Klingons.
She did answer his question. She kind of implied, no, we really didn't, but also
Yeah.
it was a different time.
But
She
that's ignoring
implied.
the Andorians and the clashes they've had with the Andorians and
And the Klingons
systems.
and...
Yeah. And Romulans, not for nothing.
Well, no, not the Romulans. They've never met the Romulans. Because the Vulcans don't even know that the Romulans are... Actually, wait, did they? They didn't know that the Romulans were just evil Vulcans.
In
Yeah.
Balance of Terror, Spock knew what a Romulan was. It's just because the guy was
Okay,
like, "You're
yeah.
one
The
of them."
Vulcans know who the Romulans are because in the episode where we actually see the Vulcans,
Oh, yeah.
Paul
the
immediately
Romulan
identifies
Star
them.
Empire?
Yes, that's what.
Romulan.
Also, when Archer takes him to the future library, he's like, "Romulan Star Empire." He's like, "Don't read that." But sorry, that has nothing to do with Vulcans knowing Romulans.
Oh, they're going home. How long is it going to take? How far away from home are they, actually?
A
Quite
couple of
far.
weeks, I suppose.
What does that mean, a couple weeks? They're not
farther
exactly driving
out-
60 down the highway here.
Yeah, but they're going
A couple
warp
of weeks
drive.
at
Warp
the
five.
high warp.
So this is farther than any ship has been out before.
I was
If that
looking more
answers
for
your-
light years.
Farther than any ship out before.
A few weeks times light, yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's not helpful.
Find the speed of warp 5 and then multiply that by the well, divide it by the time, right?
Whoa, build 2 more from scratch.
Jupiter Station.
I think that too, Tucker, actually.
Yes.
Maybe we should let that be done by the boys in Space Dock. They could fix the paint that you scratched. That hasn't actually been fixed yet.
What I like about Enterprise is that we definitely see the innovation or invention of a lot of the Star Trek technology that we're used to.
Oh, I thought that was Crewman Cutler. That is not Crewman Cutler.
Tractors and phasers and phase cannons.
What I like about Enterprise is the pockets and the zippers.
She's British.
I don't know. I
They
found
do-
that a lot where people can't tell if I'm joking. I get that on this channel a lot.
They do eat live octopus in Japan, Korea, China, and every once in a while someone dies from the suction cup activating in your throat, and then you can't breathe. So it's a little bit risky because
I mean, if you're eating an animal alive, I think that's fair.
well, no, it's not alive. It's just still moving because they chopped it off the tentacles and they're still wiggling. Oh yeah, and live actually too. They just wrap it around a chopstick and it goes down.
It says his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never had a fight over a candy bar.
Why do I feel like this guy is evil? Does he play an evil character somewhere else? John Rosenfield apparently is his name. Who's John Rosenfield?
He looks a little bit like Rami Malek in
Rosenfeld.
iRobot.
John Rosenfeld, IMDb. Who the heck is this guy? Oh, that helps. That narrows down the food group.
He doesn't like fish.
That
he
doesn't
was-
help actually.
Yeah, he wasn't in that much, this guy.
Who does like fish?
What is a spinster ant?
A spinster is just someone who's not married and they're kind of old.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Specifically a woman.
Yeah.
Yes. If a man is unmarried and he's kind of old, he's just cool. That's how it works.
He's just a lifelong bachelor.
So, a friend of mine pointed this out to me when I was looking at a 3D model of the NX-01. There's a lot of windows on the bottom of the saucer section facing directly down. So, do these people just have windows at the bottom of their quarters looking directly down?
Well, no, because when you pass the middle of the saucer, the gravity plating switches. So when you're on the bottom, you're sort of
Don't-
like upside down.
Just don't.
They have skylights. They have skylights.
Oh, that's cool.
like
That's
the
a good
people
idea.
on the second deck, right?
It saves energy too because like you just have the gravity plating on both sides working.
Will Hoshi have a successful meal with someone? Like, literally even once.
You know, I had a best friend in high school. He's still my best friend, but I really wanted to get him something for his birthday, and you know, we're lifelong buddies, so we like to argue too and debate. So I asked him what he would get someone for their birthday, and he said I would like a pocket watch. So then I got him a pocket watch for his birthday, and he was very surprised. But you got to be tricky.
But why a pocket watch?
I think like again we were in high school, so like
Do you guys
we
not
like to
have
work-
phones?
No, it was in 2003, so I think phones were new. But we also like each had like a pair of suits. So like a pocket watch goes good with the suit. I think that's why he wanted it. And I
Reed's very
engraved.
uptight here.
Sorry. What did you say? Someone?
Reed is very uptight here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, no kidding.
Not just here, everywhere, all the time.
True.
That's his whole character.
He has no character. Apparently.
I think he does loosen up a little bit after the episode where he comes up with Reed alert.
I think in the Shuttle Pod 1 episode where he's writing 100 love letters and they're all the same.
And no, she doesn't. Ryan.
What?
I like how that crewman in the back is like, "What is this conversation?"
Yeah.
Why are you watching,
That-
man? Go back to your food. Read your book.
that extra putting in some extra work.
Hoshi was like, "Do you want to come back to my quarters and like eat something?" And he's like,
Uh-oh.
"What are you
Ooh,
offering
spooky
me?"
ship. She's offering him dinner. It doesn't have to be more than that.
Okay,
Come
in
on,
my
Reed.
quarters. In my quarters.
She's got a hot plate in her quarters.
Uh
Why
huh.
not?
Yeah. All right.
Her quarters with a floor light.
I don't. I don't think it would be appropriate, actually, Hoshi, because
That
we're
sounds
crew
very
members.
appropriate. Just having dinner on a hot plate in someone's that's fine.
Okay.
Ooh, that.
I think he may have been
Screen
reading too
outline.
much into the hot.
I've been
plate
to plenty of people's quarters and we were just hanging out.
Yeah, he doesn't know why anyone would be prying into his personal life, though. So that's why he was like, "She must be into me or something." Funny moment, because we've all had like misunderstandings where I think you're getting the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, a spooky shuttle. Why is it so pointy? I don't think the torpedoes are going to work. Oh god, Archer, he doesn't have a wrist flashlight. He doesn't have one of the hand boxes. He just has a regular flashlight that you could get today.
Yeah.
With like
Regular
double D batteries
cylinder
in it.
flashlight.
Yeah. With 4 double D batteries. Or D
Well, to be
batteries,
fair, they
excuse
couldn't
me.
like. Oh,
They just walked past.
the things.
Yep, not Romulans.
Uh-oh. They look a little bit like the aliens from Mars Attacks.
One.
Mm.
Well, from that little
Except
glimpse,
tall.
They
Seems
look
like
very
an-
much like
and
traditional
numerous.
alien-looking aliens.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
I mean,
spooky.
the only thing they really have in common with Mars Attacks is that they have like bubble helmets and like
Yeah.
those weird rubber suits.
Well, we haven't
like-
gotten a close-up of their faces yet.
Lanky bodies.
But Mars Attacks are they're short. They're like child size.
Yeah, yeah. They're skinny.
You're
though.
child-sized.
Knock, knock.
Me?
Yeah.
A big child.
I don't know. I knew some people when I was young that were freakishly tall for their age.
No, they are modified, but they are basically just the torches.
So
Yeah,
much
the
does
grade.
does it get confusing when in episodes like the monastery, the Vulcan monastery, where they had torches and torches?
Pajem. Pajem is the planet.
Yeah.
So the Enterprise, the
they
flashlight
are.
they use on Enterprise was a straight up surefire flashlight. So you can straight up buy it, and I think that they painted it silver. It's normally black.
Mm.
They don't have
But
helmets. here.
surefire flashlights are not cheap. They could have probably picked a different flashlight.
Yeah, they are heavy duty for sure. I mean, and
Are they
those
dead?
Those flashlights had a lot of output, but those batteries died so fast.
Bye.
they keep just popping a couple shots as they leave.
It's their favorite thing to do.
It's like when they activate their impulse engines, that their weapons automatically activate, and they just have to aim them somewhere.
And they wouldn't want to aim them into deep space because they might hit someone accidentally in the future.
Yeah, so they're just like, shoot those people over there.
It also reminds me a little bit of Signs, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, starring Mel Gibson. But it's like freaky aliens that we barely see for a second.
Scared
and
of
they
water?
never show up again. Yeah, keep swinging. But it's just like the horror is just seeing them for like half a second. Yeah, this part's like, stop lying to Paul.
What if we ram them with the ship?
There would be a 5-year mission then.
We don't strictly speaking need weapons. We have engines.
What do you mean you don't need weapons if you have engines?
You can ram
you can
them.
ram the ship.
The torpedoes can't get through, but I bet the saucer can.
You're making some big assumptions about the structural integrity of the two ships. That the Enterprise will survive that.
Well, when they get down to a situation where it's either where their only chance is to either do that or die.
Also, the bridge is in a position where it can easily be destroyed if you ram it. So I don't think like saucer ramming is part of.
That's what the battle bridge is for.
On the top. The bridge should never have been on the top of the saucer. It's just there so that the audience gets a sense of scale of the ship. But
okay, hang on. So in TNG, they add in the battle bridge in the star drive.
In the engineering section, yeah.
Right. It's still
I
at the
bet they
top of
put
the
that
star
there
drive when you
so
separate.
that when they separate, they can have the saucer ram into something without jeopardizing the bridge crew.
Yeah.
Because the saucer has impulse engines.
Piloting the saucer, yes, the people piloting the saucer are still in the regular bridge.
Well, screw them. They're not the main bridge crew. The main bridge crew is down in the star drive.
I think it's the other way around.
Battle bridge.
It's more like the saucer is the evacuation platform, and the engineering star drive
or the ramming platform
is the lifeboat.
Okay, true.
Well, okay, so the star drive, the battle bridge is still on the top of the star drive section, exposed, like especially exposed when it's separate.
That's just so we get a sense of scale.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's extra exposed.
True.
Oh, that's what we heard from Mr. Socks. When his audio was bleeding through. By the book.
So I think they're like hot wiring the Enterprise here.
Reed, when did you have time to program these simulations?
It's been a while.
Reed's parents don't even know he's the armory officer. Like, I don't know.
That's not his fault, though. He did send them a letter.
Oh, okay.
He'll reveal that in Shuttle Pod 1 that he sent them a letter, and apparently they never got it.
Okay. Or maybe that's just what he's telling them. But yeah. I read you every day.
That episode.
Well, he does expect that he's going to die in like 30 minutes at that point, so probably not much reason to lie.
True.
Yeah, I know the feeling,
Funny
Tucker.
joke.
I assume everybody here has at least once tried to go to sleep to the sounds of a warp core.
Yeah. Also, I don't think you sleep well if your 3090 isn't working okay, Ryan.
For now, it's working
One
great.
thing we forget is that Ultra himself is an
Sleep to the
engineer.
hum of the 3090.
Now, the thing is, a 3090 doesn't make a soothing hum. It's a little more high-pitched, not super pleasant.
Well, if your 3090 is making a high-pitched sound, you might need to check if your VRAM's overheating.
No, he's
My
just
power
saying
supply
My
is making
VRAM isn't overheating.
weird sounds.
Or maybe the chokes on your VRM might
Your
be
face is
whining,
overheating.
oil whine.
It's just a heavy duty workhorse that's gonna make noise because it's doing millions of processes a second.
Whenever I render anything, my power supply makes a squealing noise, and it's absolutely lovely to listen to.
That
Right.
means that it's going bad.
It's brand new, and I contacted EVGA and asked them if I can get an RMA, and they were
Send it
like, "Yeah,
back.
all right."
Yeah,
But,
EVGA is a good company for
that.
that kind of thing.
It's beyond the 30 days, so it's a normal warranty
RMA.
claim rather than a return, because I
Return.
only managed to get the thing started after 30 days after I
Right.
got the power supply. But now I have to wait quite a while, like over a week, to send it in, wait for the replacement, and I currently can't afford to wait a week without a PC. So
Mm-hmm.
That was
I'm
well,
just
you just buy a cheap
waiting.
one to use until the
Okay.
the biggest concern. Well, one of my concerns when I was building my PC was exactly that. Like, I was getting the parts, but I never knew when I was going to get the CPU or the graphics card.
Yeah.
So I had like the power supply, and then like a month later, and the water cooler, and then like a month later, I got the motherboard and the RAM and the
Oh, yeah. Speaking of
SSD,
that-
and then like a month after that.
Speaking of that, I didn't actually say that to the stream. If I have to just leave for a minute to get something off my porch, like parts that are arriving, just keep going. Just keep going. I'll be back.
Okay, we'll try not to sing.
If I watch back the VOD and I realize there was singing while I was gone, that's a ban.
Understood. Tucker is racist here when he says, "Are your ears a little pointier than usual?"
Tucker's
What?
racist a lot, but so is Archer.
Why do we gotta be so anti-Vulcan?
They're both racist.
Well, because the Vulcans actively help out their warp program.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Vulcan
that's-
High Command did it.
That's
It's
a
not all
questionable
Vulcans.
fact, even though the Vulcans deny it. That is a provable fact.
Yeah, it's a fact. Like, it's a fact because our captain has first-hand experience that his dad would have been more successful if the Vulcans weren't hindering the program. So it's not even like a second-hand fact.
All right. We're gonna blow something up.
You gotta love though, Scotty in Relics was the first one to use that line. Like, I used to be able to feel the vibration of the warp core when, I could tell you what speed she was going. And I don't feel it with this ship.
And Captain Picard could detect a 3-micron misalignment through the deck plate.
Well, the Enterprise D is a luxury liner, whereas
Yeah.
the Constitution
NX-01.
class is more like a Liberty ship.
Yeah, it's a Space Marriott Convention Center.
Yeah, and NX-01 is like an Ironside Civil War battle cruiser.
There you go.
Unlike the Enterprise the Enterprise is a luxury liner.
This is a very good and well written episode, though.
Yeah, it actually, like, because they're really out on the frontier and they have to do everything themselves, so they have to jerry-rig the ship.
Sometimes Scott Bakula delivers his lines like he's a lecturer at a class, and it comes off really like just stodgy. I don't know, like
Yeah.
that.
Did you watch Quantum Leap? Like, that's basically
Did I
his
watch
style.
Quantum Leap?
That's the style of acting.
Of course, I've watched Quantum Leap. I think he was a better actor in Quantum Leap than he was in Enterprise.
So
But,
that
Go
that
ahead.
crater, the design of the crater was very accurate. It's a good crater. It has the full like crater circle, and then it has that raised bit in the middle. The raised bit in the middle comes from when something slams into it. The middle gets compressed even more because it's usually hit by something vaguely spherical. And because it's compressed so hard,
And
it like
recoils.
bounces back and forms that peak. It literally bounces, and that's how you get the peak.
So it's also a similar phenomenon happens when you're going poo, and
Or if you just like drip
It
water
hits the
into
water.
standing water.
All right.
call it Neptune's kiss.
Bikini Atoll had a similar effect too.
The mushroom cloud is formed by the convection current of the superheated air at the epicenter of the explosion.
Ooh, 600 megajoules.
This scene reminds me of when Shia LaBeouf went crazy and he was like yelling at that camera, and where was it? Somewhere in New York. And he's like, "He will not divide us."
What do you know? It turns out he can divide us. There is a lot of division, actually.
I mean, the only communication they've had with you is screeching sounds. So I don't think.
And a gun.
I don't think words are operative here.
That was quite a risky trick, just shooting it.
Yeah, shoot the thing and the whole ship just goes pop.
Yeah.
He didn't really know what that was going to do when he shot it.
Sometimes you
been
gotta
anything.
take a risk.
It's
Risk
like,
is our
like
business.
shooting at a mine.
Yeah. You hope that it.
And yes, we will be
worse,
doing
it's like
watch-alongs
shooting
for
at
all the new
it's-
series. Not for a while though.
It's like shooting at a mine with a laser weapon, which actually inputs the power directly into the mine, as opposed to a gun, which might just knock it a little bit.
It's just turning off a ring camera.
Okay. Well. I love the stuff they catch on ring cameras. This was absolutely ridiculous.
This violates HIPAA privacy laws.
No, he's sharing stuff that he observed in a social situation, not as a physician.
Yeah, I mean,
There's something later that's going to violate HIPAA here, but since it's under the orders of his commanding officer, he can do it.
I mean, he didn't even need to violate HIPAA. He could have just said, oh, I think he likes pineapple, actually. I think that's his favorite. He didn't have to give the medical background for why.
yeah, bromelain. Oh, this is a good line too. It's like, I have no idea what he would like because I don't analyze his taste buds.
That doesn't really change anything.
He doesn't even tell her just the medical information related to the bromelain. He goes through like his whole list of allergies and pre-existing conditions.
Mold, dust.
Why, Phlox?
I mean,
Phlox,
that
you
is
can't just
important
open that in
information.
front of her. I guess they don't have medical privacy on Denobula.
He's allergic to pollen? What a nerd.
Luckily, he's in space, as far away from pollen as you can get.
True.
His favorite food is
Amazon
just some
trivia just
random
popped up
other
saying Lieutenant
obscure
Reed's
little
favorite food is pineapple. Thanks, Amazon trivia.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
All that work for like.
So, fun fact: the enzymes in pineapple digest you while you're eating them. So it's
Only a
one of
little.
the foods that eats you back.
So yeah, if you eat enough pineapple, you might hurt your tongue a little.
You might turn into a pink
Into a
paste.
pineapple.
Now, like people can have a peanut allergy and they take, shots to overcome their peanut allergy. So that doesn't mean, peanut butter is their favorite food.
Where does Reed get pineapple?
The chef got some for him, obviously.
But they're in
Neelix.
space.
He brought them with him from Earth.
How many pineapples did Chef bring from Earth?
At least
That
two.
Archer needs to take not Archer. Reed needs to take regular injections for it.
Oh, they cause a fluctuation in their shields.
Yeah.
Above the phaser cannons are the 4 torpedo tubes, 2 on each side. Remember we had some question about that last time.
Mount McKinley is the tallest mountain in the United States. It is in Alaska.
Now this part from Tucker is a little. There's a lot of technobabble here.
Yeah.
William
I feel like
McKinley.
this isn't how recoil works.
Well, it is energy, so
Yeah. They
Well,
are
at least-
literally tied into the ship systems with the weapons, so I suppose they can direct it where they like.
it's like adding a big radiator to a gun and dispersing the heat.
Well, they kind of
No,
did that. So
It's
a lot of old machine guns were water cooled, and they had a water jacket around the barrel. And some of them were air cooled, and they had like radiator fins on it. And then others had a quick change barrel, so you could swap it out when it's got too hot.
I believe the appropriate phrase for this fight at this point is "get wrecked."
it's like when you attach a hose to a super soaker, and everyone else is like limited by their ammunition, and you got a direct feed of water.
Yeah,
Run
but
with
it's
your
not the same.
tail between your legs, Romulans.
Not Romulans.
Not Romulans.
Not Romulans.
It would be great if they just came back with 2 more ships and blew them up.
Romulan, not Romulans. Romulan.
Romulans? So the
Come
cannons are
on,
offline.
this-
So if these guys just stuck around and kept firing, they would win. Because the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enterprise
But they
doesn't
don't
have
know
weapons
that, I
anymore.
guess.
And they've lost power to 2x or something like
Well,
that.
they have
do have
torpedoes. They still
do
have torpedoes.
which can still hit them.
Yeah.
They could just like shoot the torpedoes down, surely. They're not that fast.
Well, they didn't do it for the first 2.
So his ego is saved. Tucker's that they're or
Where are they getting all the
Reed's.
subspace amplifiers?
That's what they came out
We
here
have
for.
them. That's one of the
Are they
points.
are they building them as they go?
Yeah.
No, they got a thing of.
Well, they happen
full
to
of
have
them.
a spare.
In parts,
They have
and also
enough spare
they
parts
have
to make a
loads.
phase cannon. They can make a subspace amplifier.
They have
When
they
the
have
Verizon
they have a
truck goes
3D
out-
printer.
to build a 5G network. It just has the equipment with it.
Oh,
Is this
hey,
the
fun
one-
fact. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Is
Drinking's
this the
not
one
allowed.
where they said that both of the subspace relays have been destroyed?
Right.
Yes.
Right. So that the first one was really far away. So did those aliens travel all the way back, blow up that one, and come back
Yes.
again?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Just
quite
to-
a long
just to be
distance.
petty.
That's what's implied.
So, petty and shady little aliens.
So oh, I forgot. Okay. So the telecom operators in like Mexico and Central America that are setting up cell phone towers often get kidnapped by the cartel, and the cartel forces them to build private cell networks for the cartel.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
No.
That's quite a cake box.
Yeah.
It's a
Carrying it
pelican,
in a suitcase.
Yeah.
pelican box.
By the way, I like chocolate. If you guys want to get me a birthday cake.
So she brought it in,
I
holding
already
it.
mentioned on my
She
stream.
had
On the stream, what my favorite for dinner is.
They had to carry it from wherever it was, like a cake. They couldn't hold it like a suitcase. It's so heavy. It
Yeah.
would be such a pain to carry it like that far outstretched.
Yeah, true. Especially that's like a military cargo suitcase, not just like a civilian airport suitcase.
I thought that's probably an accidental thing that he got someone to stream it out. Just like, no, you lick it.
I use one of those for my laptop ear review.
Alright, that was Silent Enemy. Now, the next episode is not Shadows of Pajem. The order of episodes is different depending on what platform you're on. The next episode is Dear Doctor. Dear Doctor. Dear Doctor. Dear Doctor.
Wait. We're supposed to go to Dear Doctor now,
Dear Doctor.
and then back to Shadows of Pajem.
No. And then Sleeping Dogs.
What?
And then next week is going to be Shadows
Because-
of Pajem.
Amazon has the order wrong.
My Amazon is correct, but anyway, I mean, whatever Ryan says.
Alright,
mean
1
your
minute
Amazon is
to
correct?
Dear Doctor. Dear
After
Doctor.
Silent Enemy,
Dear
I have
Doctor.
Shadows of Pajem.
We're not watching Shadows of Pajem. We're watching Dear Doctor, Dear Doctor, Dear Doctor.
Yes.
Wait,
yes,
what,
yes.
what service are you watching on, Ryan?
Amazon.
Okay, Shadows of Pajem is definitely next on Amazon.
I'm aware of this. We're watching Dear Doctor. I don't know how many times
Okay.
I have to say this.
The original order
We're watching-
is
yeah.
Dear Doctor, so we're watching that order.
Oh, okay. Air date.
Dear Doctor. Dear Doctor. Dear Doctor.
We are fundamentalists about air date canon over here.
Dear Doctor, also known as a vet.
also known as what?
A vet, like a deer doctor would be a
Ah.
veterinarian because
All right,
Yeah.
everybody press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Hopefully you press play on Dear Doctor, Dear Doctor, Dear Doctor.
why do you keep saying it like that?
Dear Doctor.
Because people keep asking if it's Shadows of Pajem, and he has to emphasize that it's not.
No,
Why does Phlox have a
it's
hamburger patty
from-
on his tray? Just the patty?
Is it from some episode? Oh, is that from the
It's from the episode Dear
episode
Doctor.
with the what you call it, genetically engineered guy? The genetically
ship?
engineered group of
The augments?
patients, shall we say?
Doctors?
Mutant
No, in
augments?
Deep Space Nine, he
Oh.
Says dear fellow there.
one guy. Oh,
The
Dear fellow.
augments.
He's talking to him, O'Brien.
Oh, is that a
they're
Tau City
complaining
eel?
about the sound.
I really like Phlox's setup. Obviously,
Menagerie.
it's very expensive. Minette, thank you. The fluorescent lights above, but look at these metal grates. It's like just regular construction, like fencing. But I really like how it's set up to have a little space for privacy for patients too. But also very
Ah,
expensive.
Phlox, why?
Well, you feed all the
It
animals and then
is-
you take a bite.
He made it look like he was trying to feed it and then just put it in his mouth.
Why you gotta
I mean,
troll
it's
us like
probably
that,
sweet.
Joe? Yeah, no, they didn't make him eat a big, like, beetle. I mean, they might have. Jonathan Frakes
Big
was willing to eat
beetle.
everything on his show.
Didn't he eat some mealworms in what was it, season
Oh,
1
yeah.
or season 2?
Yes, he did. He
with
absolutely
the
did.
admirals.
Everyone else had
mealworms.
like these noodles that were made up to look like worms. Jonathan Frakes had real worms because he needed a close up, and he held them over his mouth, and some fell in, and so he just ate them.
Wow.
Yeah, why not?
Which is fair.
I mean,
They're just
at
mealworms.
some point, if we stop killing animals for protein, which Star Trek says we're going to do at some point, mealworms are an excellent, and insects are.
But
an excellent
aren't
source of protein.
mealworms and insects also animals?
They are indeed.
Yeah,
They
but
are.
We don't have to kill cows and chickens, which are higher level animals.
Yeah, we don't have to kill the animals
Yeah,
we actually like.
or the
but-
cuddly ones.
Listen.
It's far less about how intelligent they are and much more about how much resources are used to maintain them.
Yeah, and getting nutrition to a planet that's exploding in population.
I don't care if we have to destroy the ozone layer. I'm gonna keep eating ribeyes. There's nothing you can say. This could
Alright.
change my
Well,
mind.
good news. There is potentially lab-grown meat that will replace animal meat.
Yes.
Also, eating too much red meat
as long
for
as I
men
can't
can
tell the
cause
difference.
cancer of the prostate.
Yeah. As long as you can't tell the difference,
Look-
I'm perfectly happy.
Listen, E-Review, you have to die as something, okay? And if
Alright.
I have to die because I ate too many ribeyes, oh no.
Okay.
That's what a way to go.
Have a chicken
I
once in a
choose
while.
to die by having watched too much Star Trek in a row that I forgot to eat or drink.
So we're
Hopefully
doing
not anytime
6
soon, though, Ryan.
episodes today, Ryan.
I don't know. I'm not really busy. After today, well, I'm busy today. I've got some stuff tomorrow. I have an appointment for something on Tuesday, but after that, like starting Wednesday, I could die. I could
hope
fit
not,
that
Yes,
in.
to the Enterprise D went
because
into it.
we just started Enterprise, and there's no one to lead the stream if you die.
Well,
Ryan.
I've already seen Enterprise.
No, but as a community, we wouldn't be able to finish, so I'd be sorely disappointed. But
Somebody would take up the mantle. No, don't
no,
worry.
no, it
Well,
wouldn't be the same.
no one
You
can
just have
pick up
to
the
figure
mantle
out what
unless
his
you figure out my
password
password.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Just-
you have to
Or-
get
or
my
just
phone for the
start another
two-factor
channel.
authentication.
It wouldn't
just
be
start
as
another channel.
big because Ryan's already made so many videos of intakes.
Also, my
Because-
password is like somewhere between 20 and 28 characters long of random numbers and digits and special characters.
and
You've
he has
already
22
narrowed it down.
Mine is 19.
You've just
plus
narrowed it down.
So opening up
Okay,
like
if you can figure it out between 20 and 28 characters of literally any character on the keyboard that in completely random order, good luck. You deserve it.
Plus two-factor authentication. I'll just guess that code, you know.
Yeah.
no, okay,
Also, what email is associated with this?
right.
Because it's not the email that's listed on the contact page on my channel. That's Ryan's channel email at gmail.com. That's not this that's not this account. That's a separate email I set up.
We're never getting the watch along if something happens to Ryan. Okay.
Or we'll just switch
Or
channels.
just start a new channel. Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, but Ryan has
No big
20,000
deal.
subscribers. We're not going to be able to draw
MVP.
the
Transferring
same...
the audience over. Well,
Yeah.
it depends if you care about like getting viewers from this channel. If you just
Yes.
want people from the Discord who are already in the Discord, you can do whatever.
Yeah. We'll do an in memoriam for you at the beginning of every episode.
Oh, what's Flox eating? That it kind of looked like a sandwich, but I didn't get a good look.
I like how the last 5 minutes is us literally talking about what would happen if Ryan died.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to eventually.
Porthos!
Okay, but if you died and we were all in a position to do something and it was like soon.
I don't want to think about that, okay?
Porthos just has a
Well-
little gastrointestinal distress. He'll be okay. You'll be okay,
I
Porthos.
kick off the day with 5 strips of thick cut bacon, 2 scrambled eggs with Gouda cheese, and some sourdough bread and mascarpone cheese and apricot preserves. So, you know.
I would buy 160th of your desiccated remains, Ryan.
I don't think I'm gonna. You know, I could. Is there any law against that?
No. You can
I
cryogenically
don't-
freeze yourself.
Hold on. I don't think you
wait.
can trade in human
Yes,
remains.
no, that's true. There is a law that you
Uh,
cannot own a human body or take possession of it.
But it's just
So-
the dust.
Is there? I
Yeah,
just don't
and
know if
the
you
reason
can
is because
sell.
once a death certificate is
Can
signed,
you sell human ashes?
No. Once a death certificate is signed, that body has to go to the undertaker.
In the United States, no federal law prevents owning, buying, or selling human remains unless the remains are Native American, which I'm not. So I can sell my desiccated dust.
Okay.
There you go.
I can sell
You could
desiccated
sell
discs
it,
of
actually,
Ryan.
you could sell it now, Ryan, and invest that money, and just make sure that you have, something in place to.
And then
take
Jeffrey
care of
Combs
that.
shows up at your
Make
door
sure
the
there's
next
no
day.
sell-by date.
Well, it's
So, yeah,
just it's a
Crewman Cutler
contingent
here.
on his death.
Hook ran
you know?
into that problem.
Crewman
in
Cutler's
Discovery-
going to be a regular for a lot.
Yeah.
Till she
Unfortunately,
dies
she
in real
stopped
life,
being a regular.
unfortunately.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
they
she
had
died in
plans
real
for her
life.
that
Yeah.
weren't able to come to fruition.
She does Tom Paris's role of being the nurse.
For
She
this
Seems really
episode,
nice. Like
I
as
thought-
a human being.
I thought
So-
Color's pretty
Discovery was
cool.
the first show to show the crew watching movies, but this year and also Voyager, of course, when they watch Captain Proton or whatever.
Captain Proton.
I'm just saying they watch movies in Voyager at some point or other. Like
At least
just
Tom
Tom
Paris
and
does.
B'Elanna.
Tom, yeah. Well, I don't know if I feel like Tom
Tom-
makes
Tom-
B'Elanna watch movies.
I think he takes her to movies. I think she.
Yeah, he takes her to a theater once,
She's
and then
not
there's
being
a
forced.
there. When he takes her to the theater, there's a corpse there, so it's not ideal.
He's not holding. He's not holding a phaser to her, like ushering her into the theater. She builds.
He's
him a
holding an
TV,
emotional
remember? A
phaser
real
where if
TV.
something goes terribly wrong and they break up, they still have to work together.
Didn't he give her a present
An
which was a
emotional
TV that only
phaser?
he would end up using?
No, she got him. She built him a TV, and she loaded it with cartoons from like the 40s. And
Yeah.
30s,
Okay, so she actually gave it
Which-
to him. Okay. Good.
Yeah, she's very supportive.
which, if they had been accurate, they would have been delightfully racist.
This is so hilarious because she calls the heart the seat of all human emotion and sadness, joy and sadness. But I was just thinking, like, it is funny that like my heart hurts when I'm like going through emotions. I do feel it in the center of my chest. So it's just so
well,
funny.
hopefully
how...
we're all aware of how human emotions work.
true.
No, please elaborate.
No, it's funny though because like my brain is doing the processing, but like my chest is doing the hurting or joy or whatever it is.
You need to choose some nerves somewhere, right?
Yeah.
No, you can't escalate like that, Crewman Cutler.
Yes.
Baby steps.
But yeah, Phlox is hot. I want some.
How many
hot
wives does
stuff.
Phlox have? Does he already have 3?
4?
I believe so. Yeah, something like that.
No, he has 3. Sorry, because she says I don't want to be wife number 4, but let's get to be friends.
Okay.
And that was just an awkward conversation to have with someone.
Minshara class.
Yes, that's what the M stands for.
I know.
They're Vulcan classifications.
A probe of some kind.
I thought it was M because
It's two rocket shaped or structural
it
shaped.
looks-
to
M
be
is
an
the
It looks like a
13th
unmanned
spider.
letter of the alphabet.
If humans
A
had
is
named
the first
classes
letter of the
planets, it
alphabet.
would have been an Earth-class planet.
Yeah, but 13 out of 26 means that you're exactly in the middle. So I thought like you're in that temperate zone of a star. Like you're not too far, not too close. So that's why it's M class.
This is the Prime Directive precursor episode.
One of these days, someone's going to have to invent some kind of directive to guide our behavior
Look at
out
his
here.
shoes. Those are cool shoes.
Trinakadulata? Trinakadula da.
It's
Yeah,
cool
those
how
are. What are those shoes?
They're cool.
I mean, there's something I like about them. Why do so many of our shoes, human shoes, have laces? We've invented new technology. We don't need laces.
Have you seen the ones that have like a steel cable and then like a dial and you just click it and
That
it tightens
seems
and then you
wildly excessive.
it's
Velcro's good.
great. Velcro is not as good as this. This cinches it down evenly as opposed to like in
Yeah, but
points.
Velcro's cheap.
Like, we can do it. Why do we have to still tie our
Velcro is
shoes?
flammable.
We
in a high
have the
oxygen environment
technology.
spontaneously.
Show us shoelaces.
Well,
yeah,
not
no.
necessarily.
Velcro is really fine fibers and hooks, so yeah, they would be flammable.
And it was invented by the Vulcans.
It was invented by NASA.
No, it was invented by the Vulcans. And given to humans in trade so a kid could go to college.
This episode is the Ferengi? Who's
The
that?
Ferengi. She's lying.
It's interesting.
We don't know what the
Yeah.
Ferengi are.
So here you go. Here is a boot with
The Ratchet.
that type of closure. The ratchet, yeah.
So these people are going through a terrible plague. If only we had some advanced technology to come up with the vaccine.
But it's not even a plague, as we find out later.
It's a virus.
It's
Which
it's
is a
not a
plague.
virus.
It is.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
neither.
It's a
It's
genetic
it's a
defect.
genetic- It's a congenital
Degeneration of the
disorder. That's
chromosome.
just
Yeah.
it's just
It's a plague of a
just-
sort.
It's fraying.
Their species is breaking down.
It's a disorder. I like how Phlox is writing a letter here. It's like Data's Day almost. You know, today
Yeah.
is the Hindu festival of lights.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
I wonder if it's by the same writer. Let's see.
I really love this episode, except the last 5 minutes. Everything before that point is fantastic.
Yeah, it is a good Trek episode to go into the issues. Also, I think about all the time if what would happen if we didn't kill all the Neanderthal and absorb them into our DNA. And also there is
Well, we
another
didn't
group
kill
of
them. They actively became part of our population.
yeah, because we killed and raped them. That's why.
To some
but-
extent.
Yeah. So there was another group of people called Denisovans, and they were in Central Asia, but it's another caveman species. And interestingly, so they had a gene that allowed them to breathe air at high temperatures, which is very thin. And only Tibetan Buddhists have it today. Well, you don't have to be Buddhist, but you have to be Tibetan.
There is a indigenous people in some like the Pacific Islands that have the ability to adjust their pupil because they do like underwater spearfishing, and it's useful for focusing underwater. So like they have
A camera lens. or Jordy's lens eyes.
The ability to
Well,
like
hang
focus
on.
their eyes at will.
So, Hoshi just asked, "Are you mating?" and he corrected her dating. No, I don't think she was asking dating. I think she meant what she said.
Yeah, and also Phlox and Hoshi gossip about their sex lives in the mess hall in Denobulan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't everybody have a universal translator and just listen in to this conversation?
No, you have to like carry your
Someone's got a
universal
universal
translator
translator
with
in the
you.
corner. Someone's just holding a universal translator in the corner, listening to our conversation.
Uh-oh.
Auf Deutsch bitte.
Don't do it, me.
I like that the closed caption cuts in and out of like
Yeah.
built in versus Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phlox has washboard
Entschuldigung.
Does
hands.
that on Netflix as well.
Was
where it
ist
cuts
los
between them.
mit dir, Hoshi?
I do like the look of the NXO one.
It's very pretty.
Wait. Do you think Ensign Cutler is like that alien lady that wanted to hook up with Riker in that one episode? She's like, I always wanted
A little
to
bit
have
different.
sex with an alien.
It's a little bit different.
I don't know. Crewman Cutler will go into her motivations later. But it's probably just the fact that Phlox is really handsome.
As a relatively detailed CG.
He's smart, he's accomplished, he's handsome. He has a lot of pets, which are pretty cool.
Archer is like Bill Gates here, just handing out malaria medicine and vaccines, working towards the vaccine. Uh-oh, pulmonary failure? Cytokine storm? It sucks when your hospital beds are overflowing.
Did these guys show up in Beta Canon again? Did they fix their problem or did they die?
Well, I think at the end, see, I think this episode is trolling us, right? Because when they talk about the Ferengi, I think like the Ferengi come in later and they ensure the supremacy of the Neanderthal humans.
Apparently, in one of the Enterprise books, in June 2164, Velum Ganair of Beta Rigel 3 listed Jonathan Archer's abandonment of the Valakians among the crimes covered up by the Federation. Covered up the crime of his abandonment.
Yeah, Lore Reloaded came out with in the last 2 weeks a video on how the Prime Directive is just a pretext for Starfleet to take over colonized star systems.
Yeah.
Apparently in
And-
Beta Canon, the Valakians are still alive in like TNG era, but there's not that many of them.
And Ryan's Edit's YouTube channel establishes that they steal archaeological artifacts from
Yeah.
primitive civilizations. So, Starfleet is just one big colonizer. Dutch East India Company right here.
Just the Borg.
Yep.
A different kind
At
of
least
Borg.
the Borg tell you about their plans for assimilation. They're more insidious.
I mean, it does put some credence to the point in Star Trek Discovery of the Master saying, they come in peace. That's the Federation lie.
Yes.
I mean, I love Quark's speech about, oh, these humans, they're so nice and, friendly when they're in a good mood, but if you take away their meals, they're as bad as anyone else.
Yeah.
Creature comforts.
It's also briefly addressed whether the Federation's actually good in Prodigy in ways that we're not allowed to discuss, but, it's there. Oh, hey, Cutler. Is she? How much training is there in exobiology? How many other species have they met when she was doing her education?
Well, she's probably studied Vulcans and Denebulans.
And she
Okay.
studied under Flots for months.
Yeah, it's like an apprenticeship.
God, can we get what they have? Can we just
Yeah,
seal
can
our
we get
teeth? That'd be
that?
so nice.
My teeth hurt after Halloween.
Should probably see a dentist.
They remineralize at some point. I need a trifluorine compound. I'm waiting for that.
Chapal, pride is an emotion. Just let him fix it.
I've got some really loud fireworks outside. It's rather distracting.
Got some fireworks outside myself at the moment.
Why? What's happening over there?
It's 5th of November. Well, it was yesterday.
No, it isn't.
It's not anymore.
It's
They're
yesterday.
getting rid
and
of the
they
excess.
celebrated.
They're getting rid of the excess.
Well, they
fireworks.
celebrate over
They've
the
been getting rid
weekend.
of the excess
post-fire
fireworks
and
for the last
after.
2 weeks.
It marks the anniversary of the gunpowder plot when Roman Catholics led by Robert Catesby tried to blow up Parliament, the King, and his family.
Guy Fawkes Day.
Why? What? Okay.
I can turn
remember,
off my
remember gunpowder,
RTX voice
treason,
and
and
have you
plot.
listen to them if you want.
No,
I see no
thanks.
reason the 5th of November should ever be forgot. UPS is here.
Well,
Where?
you're proving, Robo,
How do you know?
that humans lack the ability to have interspecies relationships. Maturity, excuse me.
Apparently
So
not. If
Fox
she had a
is-
pragmatic view of the universe, she would have let you seal her teeth real quick.
Well, no, that's not pragmatic. It's nothing she's concerned about. So it's pragmatic for her to not do anything about it. But also, she just doesn't want to deal with it.
Oh, did you hear that one? My microphone lit up when that one went off.
I didn't hear anything, no.
No, me neither.
Yep.
I want my doctor to do dentistry.
You can just go to a dentist. Well,
Like,
Did you
I
hear
saw
that one?
I saw
Company
a very,
phone delivered.
wow.
at the University of California, they have an anthropology institute called CARTA about discovering human origins, and every year they do a symposium on the latest of human origins. So, and great lectures on YouTube. But one of the reasons Homo sapiens beat Neanderthals isn't because we were necessarily more intelligent, but we have better thermal regulation. We can run faster, and also Neanderthal brains may have been too big and required too much diet, like to sustain those big brains. And our brains were more.
You need to be just stupid enough to survive.
Yes, thank you. But no, your
Maybe
brain can't require
also-
too much food because there was a nutritional limitation back then.
Maybe there was maybe Homo sapiens were more attractive too.
No, we're pretty ugly. But thermal regulation is important because like a deer can sprint, but after like 10 minutes of sprinting, it overheats and has to slow down. But a human being can pace him or herself very well and go for miles or
Speak
dozens
for
of
yourself,
miles.
man.
Usually, I mean, the species, not the modern abomination of trans fats.
These
that we are.
fireworks are feeling very unfirework-like at the moment.
Well,
They
it's
sound
not
a
even
bit
the
more like
holiday, is
more
it?
dangerous things.
What do you want?
They-
Why is that a holiday, though? Why are you celebrating someone trying to blow up Parliament?
It's a bit of an odd story, but
It is a very odd story.
Moral of the
We,
story
we don't
is
celebrate
always,
you guys burning down the White House.
you
always.
burned down the way. It's at one point as well.
Moral of the story is always
It's our
eradicate
White House.
the
We can burn
other
it down if we want to.
hominid species.
You're celebrating the failure to blow up Parliament, or you're celebrating the guy because it was a really cool plan? Which part is the celebration here?
Power
I
to the
don't
people.
recall
That,
particularly,
that's the
but
celebration.
Guy Fawkes is also
The failure.
suspected to have not actually been any part of it whatsoever.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah, part of it.
No, it's suspected
So,
from
well-
some. There isn't really evidence either way, but it's suspected from some
Well-
that he was simply tortured, as was common from the time, and just said whatever they told him to say
Yeah, the
to get out of
confession.
it.
Forced confession.
Well,
Let's see
the
if
reason
you
why
guys will be
the
able to hear this
gunpowder,
right.
the reason why the gunpowder plot got uncovered was that the conspirators warned one of the Catholic members of the House of Lords, I believe. They're like, "Hey, stay home this day," and he went right to the king. And it's like,
They literally
acceptable
pulled a "Don't
losses
come to
here.
school tomorrow."
Right.
Yeah.
They literally pulled a "Don't come to school tomorrow." Yeah. Hey, I like you. Don't go to school tomorrow. That's what they did.
Teek teek.
So Jacob Rees-Mogg told the Crown. Okay.
Why are these fireworks so loud?
They're not loud at all. They're completely silent.
Well, I'm going to turn off my noise suppression so you guys can hear them.
Why?
They're literally gunpowder explosions. That's why they're loud.
Yeah, well, they're closer than usual.
Food is
these
probably
guys
the
are-
first word people learn in English. And then no food is the next one.
What
Ooh,
about
what did he
bathroom?
give them?
Toilet, please.
Is that a sandwich platter? Is it? It's chips? That kind of looks like... It's not a potato chip. That's like a dried fruit.
Looks like a plantain chip.
¿Sí o no? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure they do.
Uh-huh.
This is
They
very much
live in
like-
camps. They live in tents in the
Yeah.
jungle.
Is this where you got your idea for our current D&D campaign?
No. No, that was the Sanctuary District from DS9.
Yeah, of course. It's
Listen, it could have been.
fairly
It could have been much
common.
worse. They could have given them smallpox blankets, you know. So, I mean, they've achieved a certain amount of balance.
I mean,
with
sure, it's
their-
better than exterminating the other species, but I mean, they're still kept in camps.
Yeah.
Is it still, if they don't realize that, like, if they're happy, what difference does it make, you know?
There was that episode of
Yeah.
Lower Decks where the cold open was there's a planet of cat people and lizard people. Like, you're all free now. You no longer have to worry about basking in the sun and worry about being eaten by the cats. Like, well, but we are delicious.
You know, Robo, I don't want to accuse you of like
We are delicious.
Yeah,
being
they're
the
totally fine with it.
same kind of person. I don't want to accuse you of being the same kind of person, but a lot of the slave owners in the antebellum South would say, well,
We treat
they're
them so
happy on their
well.
plantations. You know, like they're just like they play
that's
the harmonica and dance around the campfire every night. What's wrong?
E-review. That's
I'm
the
not
whole
saying that's
point.
you.
It's the point. The point is to point out.
I'm not accusing you of that, by the way.
I don't believe it's right because the mink don't realize the predicament they're in. I'm just pointing out that type of
Yeah.
I
I mean, that's what Flox is
The fact
explaining
that they
here.
don't want a defender is relevant. It's relevant but not decisive.
No, I mean, you know, I didn't mean it to make it personal, but like, I mean, when the United States Supreme Court ruled on Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896.
I don't mean to
You
make
can
it
have-
personal, but you sound a lot like a slave owner, Robo.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, so the court decided, look, you can have separate but equal. But like 50 years later, the Supreme Court in Brown versus Board of Ed
He's
said,
talking about his marriages. I
Nah.
missed a bit about how many he has.
There.
I'm not
Thank
wealthy
you,
enough
Flux.
to
So many
own a home.
times the advice is just talk to her. And Flux, you're just talking to her. Good job, Flux. Just talk to her.
I'm not wealthy enough to own a whole person. But thanks for thinking so highly of me.
Rover, does that mean you own half a person or bits of a person?
Can you
Maybe.
go
I keep 'em-
halvesies on a
I-
person?
I keep them in jars in my basement on a shelf, formaldehyde.
Unfortunately, any contract in which you own a person is legally null and void.
But you can have the person 3 days at my house, 3 days at yours, and alternating Sundays.
You know, ear review. If
Or
you
you can
have
have
enough
that
money,
body.
I'm sure there's ways around that. Because
Well-
look at the coal industry. Tell me that they don't own those people.
True.
You don't have to legally own the person. It's just slavery with extra steps, where they completely
Yeah.
rely on you.
But how do you feel
That
about
happens a
polyamory?
lot in other countries.
How do I feel about polyamory?
Well, Flox says
I'm
here, right,
personally
that
fine with
his
that.
wives also have a number of husbands in turn. Like, it's not just like he has 3 wives.
He said he
And-
has 3 wives,
Yes.
and his wives have
Each of
2
them have
husbands
3
each,
husbands.
which means that it's 2 other husbands, which means that it's standard for 3.
And those husbands have 2 other wives.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Also, renting a
it starts
person
going-
is just called getting a job.
It's like it's getting someone off Fiverr, or like
Robo,
Craigslist.
how much are you for rent? How much does it cost to rent you?
to rent? It depends what I'm doing. Depends
Well,
what I'm doing. What am I
For one
doing?
night.
You are currently being rented. You have a phone that allows your renter to contact you as needed.
I just
Oh,
want you for
I
one
see what
night,
you're saying.
Robo.
That's kind of creepy. Ear review.
How much? How much?
Jeez.
God, they're loud right now.
It depends. What's on? You have to show me the itinerary. I'm not like I'm trying to choose the right words here because I don't want to make it more weird than it already is.
I'm gonna shut up.
Anyway, how about that weather?
It's
I
fine.
really like that it's been raining a lot recently. We're now into the wet season. It's lovely.
Today is kind of sunny, actually. Today has been sunny.
It's been cold.
Yeah. Cold's
So
great.
I'm-
You get to
I may
wrap
have-
up with a blanket and watch Star Trek on Saturdays and Sundays.
I had to walk into
Wow.
university at 1 degree. I wasn't happy.
1 million people dead from one disease. Imagine.
I don't know. That sounds
to
like it has a pretty
clarify,
high
it was-
survival rate. I don't know why they're treating it like this big plague. Only
It's
a
just
million
the
people
flu.
dead.
It's just the flu.
It depends on the population, though. What was it?
Yeah, what was
I
the
don't
size
know,
of their
it's-
population?
It's 1 in
It's a
3
lot.
currently.
No,
So
but
it's
what's the
actually a hell of a
total
lot.
population of Valakians?
Oh, they
I
say
think
1
they
in
said
3 are
like
affected
500
by it.
million or something, or was that a
Yeah.
different app? They have like a carousel
So-
for their books.
The power company. This is a 30-month saga. The power company finally came and removed a leaning telephone pole, power pole from my property. And now they've just left a big giant gap in my fence. And they left
Oh, lovely.
the railroad ties that they were using to prop it up as well on my lawn. So I gotta follow up with them about that. But basically in 2019 I called them about this tree that was leaning against the power pole. And I was like, that's gonna fall and it's gonna knock it over. And it's all intertwined in the thing, like the branches are all intertwined in the lines and it's gonna cause a huge issue. And they're like, no, it's fine. They sent the crew out. They said, "Oh, it's fine. Nothing's wrong. We'll trim it sometime, like in the future." And then a year later, like to the day, a big windstorm came and the tree fell over and it pushed the power pole. So it was like at a 45-degree angle in my backyard. And then they had to come and replace the whole pole, and they left the old pole. And it's
Hey.
been 16 months. So finally, after 16 months, they've removed the old pole. But now they left all that trash behind. It's just fantastic. Their
Okay.
privatization of utilities is just awesome.
Like, Paul warns them here. It's like, you have no idea how much people want our technology.
Archer has learned that you can't just give people antimatter technology. How about that Friendship 1? When did that launch? Because there was some antimatter technology in there.
It was probably like a year before Enterprise launched. Now, when would that have been?
Yeah, when did Friendship
Well, let
1
me
launch?
look it up.
Look it up.
Star Trek Friendship 1. The episode, no, I want the probe.
Star Trek won many friendships throughout the years.
Oh wow! Now the humans understand how the Vulcans think.
It was launched in 2067. And what year is Enterprise?
2151.
2067, isn't that like just after First Contact?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years
2010.
after.
2063.
Yeah.
4 years after First Contact.
So they were just like, let's throw our first.
Ooh, there's
Wait,
one
Friendship
alien
one
species.
was-
Let's see how many
Friendship
more
was-
there are.
Oh, Friendship 1 was 2167 or 2067?
2067.
2067.
90 years before Enterprise.
In our century.
Wow. Wow.
So they literally just threw an unmanned version of the Phoenix into deep space, hoping it would
Yes.
meet someone.
with instructions
With
how to build
antimatter
it.
technology.
Yeah. Well, in the form of a warp core.
Archer's whole character is about resenting the Vulcans.
Oh,
for
they've
Not
just-
just informing, there are blueprints.
They've just foreshadowed a future episode of Enterprise with the Denobulan hibernation cycle.
Yes.
And now Archer's like, oh, I understand the Vulcans now. It's interesting. It's like when you're a parent and like when you're a kid, you hate your parents, and then when you become a parent, you're like, oh wow, this is hard work.
I'm not sure it would be ethical
When-
to cure this disease that's killing an entire species. Really, Doctor? Really?
Well, the thing is, he does have the Dudo home and stuff like that, but he also has the other ones of non-interference in different fashion. And also, do no harm would apply to the Ment as well.
So Phlox picks the Neanderthals here.
You're still making a choice, Phlox. By the nature of you being here, you're making a choice.
Well, I think his point is if they hadn't come here in the first place, he's saying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would happen anyway. So
Right, we can't change the trajectory of their evolutionary history.
Actually, no, we can change the trajectory of their evolutionary history. We can do that.
It would be like shooting the asteroid
we
out of
want
the
to.
sky 65 million years ago. It's like you'd be stopping mammals from taking over the Earth.
if Phlox was Worf's foster brother, you would have just transported the other species off the planet to a different place.
Yeah, this isn't TNG. This is Enterprise.
But that's actually a decent idea, isn't it? Like, in this case, wouldn't you just cure the one species and take the other one to a different planet?
I think this is a fully populated planet, though. They have to be more than 500 million people. Because if they
Species
find
in
that
Star
number...
Trek seem to not be very high on planets, other than Earth. They often mention it being quite low, like that.
Yeah, we breed like rabbits, I know.
Also, they might not have a massive landmass on their planet, and they just don't have the space to be a massive species.
What do you mean, forgive me for saying that evolution is a scientific principle? What do you mean, Phlox? Is
Well,
Is Captain Archer a science denier?
Captain.
I think he
does
was...
Captain
he
Archer
was
not
saying,
believe in
like-
evolution?
I think he was saying, like, you're going on humanitarian grounds, but I'm saying science requires us to do something else.
Science doesn't require anything. Science is just information.
Yeah, I know, but you remember in the Horta episode of TOS, Spock says it will be a crime against science to kill the Horta because it's the only member of his species left. So I do think Star Trek is correct when there are such things as crimes against science.
You can justify any number of atrocities in the name of advancing science.
I mean,
Just
men
because
already
it's-
have.
Yes.
Just because it advances
Yes, you
science
can.
doesn't mean it's ethical.
Wow, imagine having a cure and not using it. How dumb do you have to be? Or a preventative.
Well, it's
Also,
because
why does Phlox have tubes of
Drinker.
Ketracel White?
just those are the props I had available.
I like how bright sickbay is. It's really a nice set. They had really nice sets for all of Enterprise, and it's a shame that they didn't finish the series. I mean, they finished it, but not the way they intended.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, Prime Directive. A doctrine.
Should have been 7 seasons.
Hold. Wait. He said it.
It's okay, Archer. No one's gonna follow it anyway.
Unless it's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're playing heroic music over the decision to let millions of people die. That doesn't feel right.
An entire species, by the way. So it's like specieside.
Those are some nice buildings they had there.
Yeah, they blew all their money on this set. That's why they had to make Shuttle Pod 1.
This is an intelligent species. These are sapient people that we're letting die. Why?
Sentient?
In order to make
Sapient.
another sentient species live and prosper.
The other species is still there. They're not going to die as a result. The Menk are not going to die out from this disease.
No, but I think his point is that if they continue the way they are, the Mink will never prosper. They'll stay
He's
the way they
making
are.
he's making assumptions. He doesn't know what the future is going to be between the Menk and the Valachians.
Yeah,
That's the
but
point.
one group
Social
is
structures
purposely
change.
Well,
stunting
that's the point.
growth
He
of the
wants
other.
them to progress naturally without
And-
interference.
And nature has it set up that these people will die, and the humanoids, the Menk, will ascend.
Blocks was making the argument that if there was absolutely no interference, that the Menk would rise up and become the dominant species, and we should let that happen.
Right.
But there's nothing to suggest that the Menk wouldn't become a primary species anyway. They could become equal with the Valachians. They're rising intelligence. There could be a social movement. We don't know what's going to happen. We're not condemning them to death if we cure the Valachians.
All right. Keep defending the lost cause of the South, Ryan. Kidding.
I like that they make the data discs look like the ones in TOS, but not just a square piece of
Slightly
plastic.
more
Like it's
modern.
reminiscent, right?
What they look like is
More
just very
detail.
big isolinear chips. But
Yeah, and also they look like an isolinear chip holding
But
those mini CDs that they came out with in the late 90s. Like it fits in a CD tray, but it's like half the size of a CD-ROM disc.
Like you can see how that would become something that you would see on the original series.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh, by the way, we don't use
It's because-
physical mediums anymore for data. We
Physical
just have wireless transfer of data.
Still got to store it somewhere.
Yeah, you still have to
True.
store it.
Yeah, it has to be
physically.
stored.
I have a box of micro SD cards and USB sticks here that says that we still use
No,
physical
but what I'm
media.
saying is though, we don't buy the video games anymore. We download it from the Xbox store.
Maybe you do.
Just saying.
Xbox, what do you think I am, a console peasant?
Yeah.
No, no, it's fine. Microsoft and Xbox have been pretty cool recently, last few years.
So
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't like consoles.
guys,
They're right.
you don't have to be
They hold
in,
back the PC a
in
lot.
shape to get a girl. You can be like Phlox, man. Just rock it. Just own
Live
you.
it anyway.
Be you. Be confident.
He's intelligent, he's accomplished, and look at that face. All right.
All right,
Let's
so
see.
what's the next episode?
The
Sleeping
the
Dogs.
next and final episode for today is Sleeping Dogs.
Starring
Sleeping
Vaughn
Dogs.
Armstrong.
Yes. Well, I mean, he's in it for like 30 seconds, but he's in it. 1 minute
Now
to
there is
Sleeping
25
Dogs.
minutes until I will be watching this companion, but I will head off now anyway.
No.
Ryan,
I've
did,
got
you,
to head
Send me a
off
link to
soon as
that,
well.
Sama.
did your delivery come, Ryan?
I'm not sure.
Not
If I
yet.
technically can.
Okay.
Why, do you want me to leave?
Yeah, whenever.
Why don't you leave? It's my stream.
True.
We want you to give us control of the stream for about a minute.
Yeah.
Why?
think you should demonstrate how it's your stream.
You should trust us.
Ryan, by
I'm starting to feel
by-
like when I
by
have to step
pulling-
away to get my package, I should mute it.
pulling e-review into a different channel. Would be funny.
You said that you're.
I mean, I could. I could just.
You can cut off the last 3 seconds, right? That's the thing you can do.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hank, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
So what if I said a sentence that was more than 3 seconds long? And you
Well,
wanted to cut it out?
I don't just press it once. It's muting and it's wiping out the last 3 seconds.
Right. So you have to have semi-decent reaction times.
I have my phone has a little like a stream deck on it set up, and it's just in front of me, and I can just press the button.
You don't have to like Alt-Tab, find the thing, and then click it.
No.
Alright. I'm heading off for a bit. Or later.
Bye, Soma.
I will see you guys around.
All right, I guess I'll just be here.
see you at the pajama episode in order.
Yeah.
Even though there'll be a VOD of that other thing that you could watch later, but it's okay. It's
Not
fine.
I don't know if it would be a VOD. It's a live thing.
So is this.
Anyway,
Somebody will pirate it.
Sweet dreams.
Oh, blur. Yes, okay, blur. There we go. The blur is very important. That way people can leave comments on the VOD asking why it's blurred.
It's supposed to be blurred.
I've also got to head off.
All right, happy Guy Fawkes
Goodbye,
Day.
everyone.
Take care.
It was yesterday.
All right.
Apparently it's today too, according to the fireworks.
Well, according to the fireworks, it's been Guy Fawkes Day for the last 2 weeks. But yeah.
It all works out.
Anyway. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you know Tchaikovsky wrote The War of 1812 to commemorate the War of 1812?
No
The War of
shit.
1812 is about the War of 1812?
Yes, but
He didn't write the War of 1812, by the way. It's the 1812 overture.
Thank you. But the other thing is that in the concert hall, when they played it, they had real cannons going off because it's about a war. So every year on the 4th of July, when they have fireworks going off in my neighborhood, I have the 1812 overture blasting on my Bluetooth speaker because it's meant to be listened to with explosions.
So, Michael, you linked for us a video from Steve Shives of Did Captain Archer actually commit genocide? Have you watched that?
Yes, I have.
What is
So,
the
a while.
conclusion of it?
1812
The conclusion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The 1812 overture has nothing to do with the War of 1812. Just put that out there. It was about the successful Russian defense against Napoleon's invading army in 1812. So it's not. It has like. They
So
both
it's about
happened
a
in
war in
1812,
1812.
Oh, it's
but
not that
the
war,
War
of
of
1812.
1812.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Sorry.
So yeah, the cannons are supposed to sound like they're getting closer. Like during the piece, it's supposed
Tchaikovsky
to be like
cannons
the
are not an
fighting is getting
instrument.
closer and closer and closer. Yeah, they are.
And I'm going to use 21 of them.
Anything's an instrument if you put it on the sheet music. So I went to a symphonic concert where they were literally playing mufflers that they got out of the junkyard.
This is
And other
kind of what
parts.
gas giants sound like on radio. Kinda.
If you remember,
Wait.
Travis grew up on a civilian freighter. He has a backstory, actually.
But if you look up NASA has recordings of the radio sounds of gas giants so you can listen back to. Jupiter sounds kind of cool. Some of them are just staticky.
You can hear them on
Jupiter's
your
nice.
car radio if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you switch to an AM station and dial real low on the frequency. I think you can pick up
Directed
some
by
of that,
Les Landau.
some of that cosmic noise.
So
Yeah, you can
But you
hear
have to be like really far out.
on old TVs, the static, a little bit of it is cosmic background radiation.
from the creation of the universe 14 billion years ago.
Oh, you know what's really cool Growing up, I lived near Air National Guard base, and sometimes their transmissions would be picked up by my TV, and I'd hear the pilot in the tower talking back and forth in the TV. It was cool.
All right.
Also, kind of weird.
Camerazite flu, violent sneezing.
I was worried that I was one of those people that thought the government was sending them messages through their fillings. You know, like, did I really hear that? Because it would stop like immediately as soon as it happened.
Oh, going back to the last episode. So, the last episode, they let them die because of what's going to become the Prime Directive, non-interference. But I'm pretty sure there's a
Yes.
clause in the Prime Directive itself saying if they ask for help, you can give it.
Yeah.
You can't-
There was,
you can't
it was
just-
two. It
species.
wasn't just the one culture. Yeah, it was two.
The Menk were very happy to accept help. The Valakians asked for help, and the Menk were happy for it.
Yeah. Everybody's happy, aren't they?
Until, they leave and let them die.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I have a terrible thought sometimes when we when Bill Gates, humanitarian extraordinaire that he is, when we give out malaria nets, to poor countries, and not for nothing. I mean, reducing infant mortality is great, but population control is kind of good too. It's part of nature. So as horrible as it is, nobody wants their own child to die from mosquito bites. But I sometimes think hey,
It sounds
maybe
like
we
you're
should-
about to suggest letting a bunch of people die to malaria. when we can
and
help
it's a
them.
horrible thought, but it's kind of analogous to the last episode.
Okay.
It's weird. And obviously, I survived as a child, right? But I wouldn't want to give that privilege to someone else. It's weird.
You wouldn't want to give the privilege of surviving to someone else? What?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, look, if I'm against, reducing infant mortality as we should be, it's called Malthusian thinking. When you do population control to reduce the devastating effects of resource scarcity. But so far, we've been okay. We're, with genetic engineering, we'll probably have enough to grow enough food to feed everybody on the planet. We'll be all right.
We already have enough food to feed everybody on the planet.
Okay, good.
We
So
just-
let's
We just don't.
more malaria nets for everyone then.
We bury corn to keep the price up.
We've got so much corn. We have an absurd amount of corn.
Yeah.
We have like 3
You know,
times as
it's-
much corn as anyone can eat.
We have so much corn we have to
So-
put it into our gas tank.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's great. I think biofuels are going to be better than long term, be better than batteries for vehicles for sure. And plus, it's compatible with our current infrastructure, and it's a lot faster to fill up a gas tank than it is to.
Ethanol is
charge
just a
car.
subsidy to Iowa, basically. That's why. every
Anyway,
politician
Star
has to
Trek.
support it.
Hoshi got over her fear of everything, I guess.
Yeah, she hates space.
Well, I hate to break it to her, but Starfleet operates in space.
So, we gave a bunch of corn to Ireland during the potato famine, and it made a bunch of them
Jeez, we're
sick
back on
because
corn.
we forgot to tell them. we forgot to tell them what's the process you got to do to corn to make corn flour. We forgot to tell them how to do it, and they were using it the wrong way, and they all got sick.
Also,
It's
corn is
just
not
corn. You
digestible.
just eat it. How complicated could it be?
No, it's not like corn on a cob. They're making corn cornmeal and
Flour.
corn flour out of it, and there's a process you have to put it through. Otherwise, it'll make you sick. You won't be able to digest it.
Oh, I just noticed that Reed's suit has a name tag on the front that says Mr. Reed.
Wow.
I can't see T'Pol's or Hoshi's because camera is not looking at it, but it's on.
those
It's on from
e-
our perspective, the left side.
Those EV suits are more expensive than anything we see, except maybe in First Contact, and that's a maybe.
Nixtamalization is the word I was looking for. Nixtamalization. So we didn't mention that. We're just here's some corn, and then
Like a lot of corn.
yes.
So much corn.
and they all got sick.
If you drive across the country, it's nothing but corn.
Wait, how come Hoshi doesn't have a name tag? Look at Reed. He has a name tag right there. Right on his chest.
I think it's because they
Hoshi
knew
doesn't.
that she was never going to go on a away mission.
But she's wearing the suit. They have a suit for her.
She wears the generic suit. She doesn't get her own.
Should I don't think Reed should be here, actually. If he has a cold and there are survivors on this ship, he's going to infect them with human diseases.
Yeah, good point.
Well, they could infect him with human diseases even if they don't exhibit symptoms.
They could, however, to mitigate that, they
Yeah.
could keep their
He has a-
suits sealed. They could seal
He
the
has a-
suit.
He also has a cough.
Yeah,
which,
there was no reason to unseal the suit other than to conserve the oxygen in the suit.
you
I
know,
guess
viruses spread in the water particles in the air.
Wait, now
So-
Hoshi has a name tag.
Okay.
What happened? What? Did they slap it on? What? I don't understand. I guess they cut for the day
Yeah.
in that hallway, and then when they came back, they realized, oh wait, we need to slap this on, and they.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or like the production designer was off that day.
I just want to see, does it say Hoshi or does it say Miss Sato?
Something I love about this episode, you get to see the Klingon display panels from Motion Picture and Star Trek 2.
Okay, T'Pol still does not have a name tag.
Like, we haven't seen that for ever. Also, Hoshi implies the place smells like dead bodies, and so
Oh, really, Reed? You're not okay with flying off and leaving people to die? Tell me more about that.
so they're just sleeping.
Yeah, they're just sleeping. They're fine.
Okay. And the food is not fresh at all.
They
that's
killed
a
their
targ.
pet targs. Are those
3 of 'em.
vegetables on a Klingon ship?
That's what they feed the targ with.
It's a lady. This is kind of a Halloween episode. It's a little spooky. Kind of like
Yeah,
a
for
ghost
sure.
ship.
There's not enough shirtless Travis for this to be a Halloween episode.
There is shirtless Reed at the end.
Ooh.
And apparently, only men need their entire torso decontaminated. Women only need their belly decontaminated.
saying that they should have applied the decontamination gel to more than just the exposed midriff on the female
I'm saying they should be
officers?
consistent.
All right, I'm on board with this.
No, Robo. I'm not saying they should show this on screen. I'm saying they should be consistent canonically.
Well, they don't have to show. They could have like the back shot, you know, where there's just a bare back, or they could have it like, you know, covered, like what they did with.
Do we
remember
not
they
get
did that
enough
with
of those of
Phlox, where,
T'Pol
like,
for you, Robo?
Phlox is like walking around naked, but every time you're seeing it, you know, there's something blocking you from seeing anything other than like his like calves down and like waist up. What was that episode where everyone was asleep, right?
Yeah.
He had them all
This-
in like induced in a coma, and he's just walking around the ship naked.
This lady climbs on the roof of the. Okay.
Well, at least they tried to use gun. I can
Is she like
appreciate the
Suliban or
attempt.
something? Like how does she?
No, she has claws, I guess. Don't worry about it.
Okay. You gotta love this Klingon ship though. It's like rusted and everything.
Cleaning is not honorable.
I mean, it looks like you're in a
Well,
Titanic or something, you know?
didn't Martok start off cleaning, being like a janitor basically on a ship?
I don't recall.
Because Core denied him entry to the officer school,
Yeah,
and
because
then
of
he got a
classism.
battlefield commission. Yeah, because he was from the Kethel Lowlands.
What do you mean in TOS they strategically expose skin? What do you mean? Just putting the women in a miniskirt is not strategic. There's nothing subtle about it. Unless you count those parts where, like, they ripped certain parts of William Shatner's shirt. Not the whole
we
shirt.
don't have a tractor beam.
Nope. Tractor beams are
Gotta rip the
overrated.
parts. Gotta rip the parts that don't show his girdle.
The
Are we
bridge
sure?
is yours, Travis. The camera doesn't even cut to Travis saying yes. Sir.
Why is the captain doing this? Archer, why are you here?
I
They
think,
don't have like designated
it's a-
security personnel.
Yeah, he's very protective of his ship.
I mean,
He's being
Reed
proactive.
is
He
down
leads
on the...
from the front.
he
leads
shouldn't.
from the
He should
front.
stop that.
Well, with the red shirt in front, you mean, right?
No, he leads from the front. That's how that works.
He doesn't need to lead from the front. He has a security team.
There's no rules or procedures for this yet. That the captain doesn't go on the away team, the captain doesn't show up to encounter
And there won't
the
be
guest.
until TNG. In
No.
TOS, Captain just puts himself in danger all the time. And then there's an episode of TOS with the Horta with the rock guy, where they say, "Oh, Mr. Spock, but alone. Either one of us is expendable, but not both. We can't both be on the away team." But then they're on the away team together every other episode.
Yeah, and captain basically just leads the away team. It's understood in TOS.
Hold on a second.
This is a lie.
Klingons don't use escape pods.
Yeah,
And
this
yet,
is a lie.
in the episode with the augments, they definitely use a Klingon escape pod.
I was thinking of Deep Space Nine, where Worf is in an escape pod from when he's serving on a Klingon ship, and Ezri has to go find him.
I'm thinking of a reference that is more immediately close to this one in terms of.
In either case, T'Polla's line, straight
Yeah.
up.
Those aren't
She just
escape
doesn't want
pods.
the Klingons
Those are
to
life
see them using an
rafts.
escape pod
That's what they are.
in the event that they wake up.
Those are just adrift pods.
Why didn't T'Pol tell Archer about the Vulcan hello? Or whatever.
She said maybe.
the Klingon
Obviously,
hello,
she's
the
not
Vulcan
certain.
Hello.
T'Pol is very professionally antagonistic towards Hoshi.
Yeah, I guess
this-
maybe T'Pol's info is
I
just out
know.
of date, because we know from Discovery that the Vulcans and the Klingons don't really talk, they just shoot each other. So maybe they just don't know.
T'Pol holds Hoshi to a high standard because she knows she's capable of it.
Right.
No, T'Pol's just a jerk.
No, she that's an actual dialogue
know.
line.
I know, but that doesn't mean she's not a jerk.
This ship is in a gas giant, you said earlier?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's falling
Wouldn't it just
into the
float?
core.
Wouldn't it just reach a point where it's neutral buoyancy and it would stop sinking?
It would eventually, but the issue is it going to reach that before it is crushed and everyone is killed?
Gravitationally crushed, too. I remember when I was a kid, learning that like on Jupiter's gravity, as a 100-pound kid, I'd weigh not 800 pounds, and also I'd be crushed by my own gravity. Pretty cool idea.
Reed, is this really the time to be making fun of his accent?
Yeah, he wants to.
Though I guess all the Brits left, so we can start making fun of Reed's accent. I feel like they should worry about it. They should really worry about it.
This is like a really Voyager episode. Let's just go in a nebula and do something
Oh,
no one
there it
asked us
goes.
to do.
Crushed by gas.
And it's pretty crazy on Jupiter that Great Red Spot is like the size of 300 Earths. So there's storms on gas giants that are larger than we can fathom.
Well, yeah, Jupiter's big, man.
Yeah.
What is it, like 95% of the mass of the solar system is the sun, 5% is Jupiter, and everything else is a rounding error? Something like that. Might be 97 and 3. I don't know.
Yeah, and Saturn's pretty big too. So
It's not nearly as big as Jupiter. Saturn is actually a rounding error in comparison.
oh wow, I didn't know that. But also like Jupiter has so many moons, I think we discovered like 1 or 2 last year. It's also the most beautiful planet, if I can say.
Jupiter's nice. It does have rings. Well, it has a ring, but you can't really
Mhm.
see it, so it's not ideal.
I like all the swirly action. Reminds me of Cinnamon
Yeah.
Toast Crunch.
The worst planet, it's Uranus. Uranus is the worst planet because you look at it through a telescope and it's just solid blue. There's no defining features.
Oh,
It
wow.
sucks.
You know, I like Pluto because it has a heart on it made of ice.
Yep, Pluto's all right.
A
Neptune.
heart on it. I thought you said something else.
Neptune is like Uranus, but it's just strictly better. It's a deeper, richer blue. It has some stripes. It has some cloud action going on. It's a lot more interesting. Uranus just sucks.
Also, Pluto is not a planet. Sorry.
It's a dwarf planet. It's fine. It's trying its best. Venus is also really lame to look at. It has a really interesting surface, but if you just look with your eyes through a telescope, it's pretty lame. It's just
Look,
It's
another
pretty
solid
bright.
color.
It reflects the sun.
Pluto
pretty
has
well.
gone through a lot of shit, okay?
Yeah.
Pluto also has an orbit that's completely on a different plane from all the other planets. So this Klingon woman is the ultimate skeptic. Whatever you tell her, she's not going to believe it.
You tried to stop trying to help people yesterday, Archer, remember? With the Vlockins?
Like, cure genetic disorder? No thanks.
This feels like interference, Archer. Maybe it's the natural evolution that they die in a gas giant. Little. How many times
Well,
do we get the line tough little ship?
Also, if a submarine goes down too far, it can buckle under the depth pressure. Pressure sucks.
Soma, why are you in the chat, Soma? Soma, why aren't you just here in the voice chat? Make up your mind. Are you watching or not?
Sorry.
You can't make a decision. Mars looked like a Pepsi logo? I mean, not in my experience, but oh, hey, Vaughn. I don't remember Mars looking like a Pepsi logo, but okay. No, that's not Vaughn. Wait, is it? No, it is. That is Vaughn. Yeah, that's Vaughn.
Yeah.
Gotta trust my instinct on that. If it feels like Vaughn, it's probably Vaughn. So T'Pol made the assumption that dying at their post would be honorable, but the Klingon captain's saying, yeah, no. No, this doesn't count. We need a T'Pol is always right counter, but we also need a T'Pol is wrong because she's making assumptions counter. I never got to see if Hoshi's suit says Hoshi or Misato. And I don't think she's going to put it on again. It's deeply disappointing. So anyway, how's the weather?
I'm getting crushed by a gas giant.
That seems unlikely.
It is pretty stormy outside.
You know what? While we're waiting for, things to happen on the show, let me look up what percentage of mass is Jupiter and verify that number. Okay, the sun is really big. Yep.
Yeah, at the Museum of Natural History here in New York, they have a planetarium with it's a scale model of the sun and the other planets. So the sun is the size of basically the entire building, and inside that they scooped out the giant ball and they made a planetarium. So because a planetarium needs to have a dome, but the other planets are like a basketball sized, and the sun is just so huge.
Okay, so I looked it up, had to do a little bit of math because people refuse to give the exact numbers I'm looking for. The sun itself is about 99.9%. Jupiter is about 0.1%, and everything else is a rounding error.
Wow.
Jupiter's real big.
There's the right.
And they're not even made of metal or anything. It's just gas. It's just a lot of gas.
Yeah, we think there's a solid core at the center.
It's not totally clear.
Yeah, it's totally not clear.
But, forgot what I was going to say. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that gach does not look appetizing. It's not even moving.
It's still edible. Just not as good.
No.
It's like leftover gach.
Yeah.
It's still good for 2 to 3 days in the fridge.
But there's nothing wrong with bone soup. Stop chickening out, Hoshi.
Is that an actual pig corpse?
Just a deer skull.
It looks very close to it, actually.
That looks like a real pig.
It does. Like, if it's not...
That's not a real pig.
They went through a lot of work. Also, I love how they put bones on their targ for, like, decoration.
And we did briefly go over flashlights in the first episode for today, where they actually look, like flashlights.
Yeah, there's a
Unlike the other
beam of
shows.
light that you can see in the dust.
I was thinking of just the cylinder, but yeah, that too.
Yeah.
They're just surefire flashlights from the early 2000s.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to have to put batteries inside, like copper
Ugh.
top batteries.
We still have to put batteries inside.
Yeah, but
But
they
only
weren't
once,
lithium
because you can
ion.
recharge
Yeah.
it.
Right. And you have to keep these batteries like in the house.
The
And
good flashlights use replaceable batteries still.
replaceable doesn't have the same punch as like a new D battery does.
No, I'm like the CR123s are definitely better than alkaline batteries.
Yeah, but this is 2001. We're not in the future.
Yes, we are.
2001
We're explicitly in the
2001
future.
had CR123s.
It's the 2160s, man.
2151.
2150s, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing, T'Pol?
Guided meditation. That was like all the rage back in 2001. We had Anthony Robbins.
Why are you tapping her hand?
Control the waves, Ryan.
Do they have time for this?
You know the gas
I feel like a
giant is
little bit
crushing
of
you?
panic here would be justified. They're falling into the core of a gas giant or about to be crushed to death. I feel like we can panic a little. It wasn't that amazing. She just tapped your hand a little bit. What do you mean, did you add it? There's nothing. Okay.
While we got time to just hold hands, Rolex Submariner is a watch that's made for like deep sea diving, and it has a helium escape valve because if the pressure gets so crazy, like if you release the helium inside it, you might die when the ship is like being crushed and overflowed with water, but the watch will survive on your corpse just fine.
Well, that's nice. It's good to leave something behind for the divers who find you eventually.
Yeah.
Why?
He's
It's on the same
armored
computer
officer.
interface, Malcolm.
No, it's not.
Kapla. Success. Oh, success that means. Okay. Good to know. So, when a Klingon is just working on their computer and they copy a file from one place to another, it comes up with a little message that says Kapla.
Yeah. I like how Tucker, when Archer says it has 900, the Vulcan database has 900 pages on the Klingons.
That's not
He's
that
like,
much.
Yeah, he's like, did you learn anything? Because I could read 900 pages and not learn a thing. I don't know why they make Tucker into such an airhead. He's not.
Ah, and now you'll offer it to me for a price.
Yeah, they put microchips in that.
Why would she be offended by that question?
She's
Did
so
you win?
tight-lipped.
I don't know, I feel like it's hard for her to keep her lips together with those teeth. Ugh, good job, lady. Maybe you should, like, scan things before you eat or drink them. Alien food and drink. So, remember this episode, by the way, because this is going to come up in season 2, I think. The fact that Archer is trying to save a ship. Yeah, I don't think dying by drinking bad ale. This is basically death by food poisoning. That's
Yeah.
not super honorable.
No, it's cowardly, actually. You let E. coli and salmonella bring you down?
Yeah, this is a little wildly dangerous, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not a terrible idea. Yeah, the trial is where this episode comes up again. Yes, that was his plan, actually. Where could it possibly have gone? It's just falling straight down, right?
Those are the Klingon hexagon grid display panels from
Everybody
motion
loves a
picture.
hexagon.
Yep.
The gun is the best gun.
All of them. Okay, no, that's definitely going to kill you. You were worried about one torpedo killing you. You can't launch all of them.
Honestly, if you're in a gas giant, you're on your own.
Jesus, Hoshi. Have you done the math on this? I feel like you're going to kill yourself. Oh, well, there goes part of the ship. I guess they're dead. It's just debris now. Oh no, there they are. Just some chunks missing. A lot of chunks.
Yeah, chunks are flying off.
Honestly, they didn't even get that much height.
They could increase the buoyancy somehow.
Oh, hello again. Good to meet you.
Yeah, it's hard enough when a ship re-enters into an oxygen and into a M-class planet. I don't think a ship can really enter a gas giant.
You know, her outfit, I'm getting some mixed signals. On the one hand, it has some fur that looks really warm, but then it also has this massive opening in the front. Are you trying to stay warm or not? There's going to be a draft. It's breezy. It's not great. Maybe it's just decorative fur.
Well, at least the reception is clear.
Yeah.
Wait, we rescued the ship? What happened?
They repaired the ship and just flew it out of the gas giant.
Oh, okay.
Never mind that I would expect the engines to be, destroyed at that point. Most of the hull was buckling, but apparently they
Yeah.
still work.
All right.
Oh, hey, Vaughn. Vaughn, you barely even have a ship anymore. What are you planning to do here? What disruptors? Do you have disruptors? You don't have any torpedoes. We know that much.
I like how this Klingon gets mad.
Vaughn, there's no honor in being an idiot. Bye, Vaughn.
Like, he's not happy that they survived. Okay.
Yep, just remember the Klingon raptor Samra. And now we get shirtless people.
Is a raptor just another word for bird of prey?
It wasn't
Yes.
a bird of prey, though. It looked more like a battle cruiser.
But it was a scout ship.
Yeah,
So
it was a
it's
small
neither.
battle cruiser.
Ooh. I believe the term is TNA.
Now, the thing, they covered themselves in gel. But their clothing is clearly not, wet in any way. So they didn't put a shirt over the gel.
You're right. They treat this like a tanning salon, but it's more like a sonogram. And they really like it too, which is weird. Like, I don't think they do this again in any other scene, except when, well, I think it already happened when Tucker and T'Pol have to rub each other with the cream.
Gel.
Do we? Sorry. Do we see that again, Tucker and T'Pol?
Well, we certainly see this room a lot. I don't know about trying to stay in it for longer.
Okay. But yeah, Enterprise was trying to use sex appeal to get us to watch the show. Sadly, it didn't work. Ooh, T'Pol.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Rick Berman, is this you?
Yeah, T'Pol has the skimpiest outfit on. Like, Hoshi is decently dressed.
This definitely feels like a Rick Berman scene.
Maybe.
However, credit to Rick Berman, he's sexualizing the men and women now.
Yeah.
Not just the women.
Tucker's got great pecs. Reed, excuse me.
Yeah, he works out. Reed, why are you touching her arm?
And also, when T'Pol says, I don't smell anything, I think she was just being nice.
All right. Let's see. Well, okay. First off, tomorrow is Voyager, and the time is going to be changing for some of you because the United States is moving its clock back. So it will be at, let me bring this up, 12 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, what's Voyager? Voyager Season 1. What's going on? Exposed factor, emanations, prime factors, which is... What is prime factors? Oh! Prime factors is the people with the subspace trajector. The people who can, teleport across the whole galaxy.
10,000 light years, and then another 10,000 if they make it there.
Yeah. And then state of flux, which is a Kazon something. No idea. Kazon something. And Heroes and Demons, which I do very well remember. Heroes and Demons is the Beowulf episode.
Schweitzer.
Yes, Schweitzer. And that should be good.
We see Vikings in Star Trek.
We get to see Freya and other people whose names I don't remember.
And then Enterprise.
And then next week, Enterprise is going to be Shadows of Pajem, Shuttle Pod 1, and Fusion. And 2 of those are excellent.
Yes.
2 of those are really good episodes. And then there's also
Jeffrey
Fusion.
Combs.
Yes.
William.
Brunt.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat.
C-A. Fusion it's kind of uncomfortable. It's another, it's a mind meld that T'Pol didn't consent to. Let's put it like that. And it's deeply uncomfortable. Anyway, we're done here.